This is 14 Plus Academies, a part of Leeds City College. We currently have 220 learners, and it started 10 years ago with just 13. Learners come to us full-time from their previous schools 5 days a week, and they study with us 4 days a week here at Park Lane campus, and they do 1 day a week at their vocation. The research that the AOC is leading is critically important for the next steps of 14-16 in FE. We know there's a growing demand for something different to mainstream environments, and we believe this model is it.
At my old school it was 35 plus people in one class, but here it's not as large and you get more time with the staff to work on your work.
The well-being, they never really touched up on your own mental health. It was always focused on other people.
It got to the point where I hated going to school and I'd pretend to be sick all the time, and then I saw the leaflet and thought I'd see what it was about, and then on the open day I was like, I need to go here.
Going back after lockdown, his mental health was just shot. The only thing I think that got him through year 9 was the fact that he was putting an application in here. And I just don't know where we'd be mental health wise. It upsets me even thinking about where he might have been without college.
When you find a note from your child saying that they don't want to be here anymore, that's a turning point that you can't turn back from. And thankfully, 14 Plus saved her. Saved us, actually, as a family.
What we've tried to create is an environment that's preparing them for the future and their world of work. And yes, we need to make sure that they're dressed smartly, but we don't need them all dressed the same. We need to make sure there's respect there, but that doesn't come from saying sir or miss. Playing music on the corridors. What we're trying to create here is an environment that they feel safe and accepted, that is more normal in relation to what they're going to have for the rest of their lives.
Here, from the get-go, it was just amazing. Everyone was so nice, the teachers and the students. I'd never met so many just welcoming people.
One thing that college has decided to help out on is MindMate, so it helps with anxiety and your mental well-being. Since doing that, my mental health has been through the roof. It's been so good, and I don't stress out on little things anymore.
I had real problems with my anger management. The littlest things would tip me off. After doing the workshop, it calmed me down so much.
You encourage them, you believe in them, and you care. Their own little journeys are important to every single member of staff. That's what I saw with both of my children. It gave her what she needed to be herself, and it gave her the independence to learn at her own pace, and if she needed to take a little bit of time out, she was supported by the college to do that, and then came out of it with all of her GCSEs, which would never have happened at high school.
If they come here at 14, that means we're giving them 2 years of prep before they go out to the wider college, and they can go into A-levels, or they can go and do a technical course, or T-levels, or A-levels. And the fact that they can come here at 14 and we can give them the skills to get ready for 16 is transformative.
It's like a head start before everyone else that's in a normal school. So we're already 2 years ahead than them that would be coming to college after school.
The work experience part of it is invaluable. That's how Billy's got his job, and he's he went there about a month after he left here, I think, and he's passed his driving test. He drives himself to Sheffield a couple of times a week. He goes, he works his full-time job, and he gets up, and I think the college teaches them not only their education, the core education, but life skills.
When I first joined, I had no self-confidence. I was very shy. I was very personal. I was struggling to speak to another student when I first joined. But as time's gone through, as I've gone through my first year, I've gone from speaking to no one, speak to anyone.
When Ella first started here, she wore bilateral cochlear implants, and she constantly wore her hair down. Didn't want anyone to know, no friends, only class teachers, because they obviously needed to know. By the time she left, she was more than happy to tie her hair up. She was more than happy for anyone to know that she was deaf, and is now massively, massively confident with it.
Since coming to the 14 Plus, my grades have just shot up so fast in the space of a year and a half.
My old school, I wasn't really confident around people, whereas I can be more open here and be more confident around my friends.
There's a lot of young people out there that don't want to go to school, but what else are they missing out on by just not going to school? It's a lot more than that, and that's going to affect them in the future and our own futures.
My concern is if you don't get a place in a provision such as this, then where does that lead you? We know that we're getting year 10s on 10s in at the start of each year, and for them to be looking somewhere else means something's going wrong in their lives, either through education or through a different trigger. And my worry is for those 300 or 400 that just we're not getting, but then when you multiply it over the country, then what hope have they got? I think we've reached a critical point now, just in our 14 plus academies provision alone, that we're turning down so many that we need to do something as a country about it.
I've had so many of my friends try get in, but I've told them like it's such a big waiting list because so many people realise how good it is here that they just want to leave their old school but they can't.
The 14 Plus Academy absolutely works. You've got parents here telling you it works. It needs to continue. There needs to be more funding for other sites to be set up because there's loads of children all around the country that would benefit from this.
It makes me wonder, why would you put so much money into a failing system? Why would you not, like, just look around at the ones that are thriving? Like, why would you not put your money into those ones?
There's a growing demand and a need for more of us, but the only way there's going to be more of this is if we look at the funding and the importance of having such specialised provisions in colleges and making them a priority.